Welcome to aminacademy.com. In human anatomy and physiology, let us discuss about the cardiovascular system. In that, we'll discuss further about anatomy of heart. The heart is a roughly cone-shaped halo muscular organ. It is about 10 centimeter long and is about the size of the owner's fist. It weighs about 225 gram in women and is heavier in men, little heavier. What is the heart position? The heart lies in the thoracic cavity and the mediastinum. It lies obliquely a little more to the left than the right. The present base above and apex below. The apex is about 9 centimeters to the left of the midline at the level of the fifth intercostal space. That is little below the nipple and slightly nearer to midline. The base extends to the level of the second rib. The structure, the heart wall. The heart wall is composed of three layers of tissue: pericardium, myocardium, and endocardium. What is pericardium? The pericardium is the outermost layer and is made up of two sacs. The outer sac, that is fibrous pericardium, consists of fibrous tissue, and the inner, the serous pericardium, of a continuous double layer of serous membrane. What is myocardium? The myocardium is composed of specialized cardiac muscles found only in the heart. It is striated like skeletal muscles but is not under the voluntary control. The fiber cell has muscles and one or more branches. The end of the cells and their branches are in very close contact with the ends and the branches of adjacent cells. Next, endocardium. This lines the chambers and walls of the heart. It is a thin, smooth membrane to ensure smooth flow of blood through a heart. It consists of flattened epithelial cells and it is continuous with the endothelium lining the blood vessels. Interior of the heart. The heart is divided into a right and left side of the septum. A partition consists of myocardium covered by endocardium. After birth, blood cannot cross the septum from one side to the other. Each side is divided by a anteroventricular wall into the upper atrium and the ventricle below. The valves between the atria and ventricles open and close passively according to the changes in pressure in the chambers. They open when the pressure in the atria is greater than that in the ventricles. Flow of blood through the heart also we'll discuss later. Now we'll continue. That is the anatomy of heart. Position of heart. Look at this first, where heart is positioned in our body. The heart is located in the midline of the chest cavity, specifically in the mediastinum. It sits slightly behind to the left of sternum, that is the breastbone. The heart is also situated between the lungs. A human heart is a muscular organ with 4 chambers and 4 valves that pumps blood through the body. It consists of 2 upper chambers called atria, right and left, and the 2 lower chambers called ventricles, right and left. The atria receive blood while the ventricles pump blood out to the heart. There are more details look in this. What is the chamber? Heart chambers. Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the body via the superior and interior vena cava. Right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs via the pulmonary artery. Left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the lungs via the pulmonary veins. Left ventricles pumps oxygenated blood to the body via the aorta valves. The tricuspid valve located between the right atrium and right ventricle. Pulmonary valves located between the right ventricle and pulmonary artery. Mitral bicuspid valve located between the left atrium and left ventricle. Aortic valve located between the left ventricle and aorta. Myocardium, the thick middle layer of a muscle that contracts and relaxes to pump blood. Pericardium, the sac surrounding the heart and that provides lubrication and protection. Coronary arteries supply the heart muscles with oxygen-rich blood. Septum, the valve that separates the right and left sides of the heart. Great vessels, large blood vessels connected to the heart, including aorta, pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins, and superior and inferior vena cava. Now we'll little detail about the structure of heart. Look at this. The human heart is a muscular organ with 4 chambers, 2 aorta, 2 atria, upper chambers, and 2 ventricles, lower chambers. It is also composed of 4 valves that control blood flow. Along with arteries and veins, the heart wall consists of 3 layers: the outer epicardium, the middle myocardium muscles, and the inner endocardium. What is atria? The 2 upper chambers, the right and left atria, receives the blood from the body and lungs respectively. Ventricles, the two lower chambers, the right and left ventricles pump blood out of the heart. Tricuspid valve controls blood flow between the right atrium and right ventricle. Pulmonary valves that controls the blood flow from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery. Mitral valves controls blood from flow between the left atrium and left ventricle. Aortic valve controls blood flow from the left ventricle to the aorta. Heart wall layers. There are epicardium, the outer layer, protective sac called the pericardium, surrounds the heart. Myocardium, the thick muscular middle layer responsible for pumping blood. Endocardium, the inner layer lining the chambers and valves. Now, other key structures. Septum, the muscular wall that separates right and left sides of the heart. Aorta, largest artery in the body carrying oxygenated blood from the left ventricle. Pulmonary artery carries the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricles to the lungs. Pulmonary veins carry oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium. Coronary arteries supply blood and oxygen to the heart muscles. Now, so far we discussed a little about the anatomy of heart. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.